Hello, guys. So I got a download about like clinical trials, and those are like I was trying to figure out what spirit was talking about because when I got something about cure all, like one thing cures all, and I was like, okay, and like the download was there's gonna be a clinical trial for that, and so I'm like, okay, what the fuck is this? What are we talking about? And then I'm thinking about one of the messages that I got the other day where the card was Cancer and Judgment and God's making it happen. Do you remember those cards? Okay, and then I sat there, like I didn't see them again, but I saw them. I saw the Cancer card that I have in the gray marker, and I saw the Judgment that's in orange. And those two right there um, were significant, right? There's something that's been going on with all this funding and um, how the misappropriate there we go. I guess it's how the misappropriation of the funding is creating a problem in advancing healthcare, like advancement in like the medical field. So all this fighting and all this stuff that's going on, and everybody being on different sides, I guess, because I don't know, but I'm down. This is the download I got. It seems as if they're trying to, clinical trials, they're like a bunch of different methods or ways that I guess doctors can test. Wow, this is crazy. Okay, so the clinical trials in the medical field are there for a bunch of different, like, doctor people to test theories. It's funny because this falls in line with what we be doing over here. See what I'm saying? So everything kind of comes together from the bigger to the little, and then it goes back out again, right? So this is kind of like reaching. When I think about it, this is kind of pulling down. So I got one thing that comes from out of nowhere. I pull it down, I look at it, I focus on it, and then I see something bigger from that. It's crazy. I don't know if anybody understands, but this is how stuff comes down. This is how, I guess, miracles are formed. I just showed you the process of pulling something down. Okay. So God is saying something here about maybe it's some type of new discovery, or there's about to be like a new clinical trial that is actually able to pass through all the way. Because here's the thing. Imagine like, okay, you have a certain type of cancer in a certain place in your body, right? And there's a clinical trial, right? And then you got to look and research for these. So say you're like looking in the database for a certain trial to test the theory on a certain patient, right? So we got where I'm going. Now, let's just say we find the perfect clinical trial for the patient. Now, let's just say we try this theory that this clinical trial is right for this cancer patient. Now, let's just say in a perfect world, if our judgment was correct on this trial for this patient and the theory goes through and we now see progress in some type of way where we can tell that this clinical trial is helping to reduce this cancer, so the theory is working. So now that we know we tested the theory of this trial with this cancer, and we see that it's making progress. So we started with a cancer patient going into the hospital, and now we're looking into clinical studies. So these are things that are out here to just try and test and pretty much experiment, use on different patients when there's no other way. Then we resort to that, right? So now if we find one and we match it with the patient and it works, then we know the theory has been tested, tried and true. I don't know who we is. So now we have a patient with a certain type of cancer in a certain place in their body, right? And so now that we have those two things that work, now we got to see how it works. And so the theory will say that if this medication really is for this diagnosis, then we should see progress, which would mean a diminishing of the cancer, not the cancer doing nothing or getting bigger. So if we can find something, right, like we can hit the target, which is to decline the problem, move the problem away, right? Then we know, okay, this is how this works. And then we can expand upon that. But here's the thing. Now we have a government, right? And the government funds the clinical trials. And now the government is going through, like we've been doing every other fucking month, it seems like, a shutdown, or we have a president that is removing funding from an industry, right? So now what happens? We found this medication that's funded by the government that's already not something that's being used normally. So now we find a cure to a cancer, right? We see a progression in a certain type of cancer. And then Trump says, there's no more funding in that department. So now our loved one, or whoever this is, we're not talking always about the wars and all the other things. What this fucking president is doing is fucking up progress in the making. So now, me being who I am, I'm trying to see how this really works, if this is how it goes, because this is how it's being shown to me very clear. Every single time we make progress, someone's trying to bring us back. Where do we go from here? Well, why the fuck do we keep not understanding where the problem lies? It's not the people down here. It's the people up there that have all the money and they're misappropriating the funds. So I would be pissed off if this is my loved one, right? They're in the hospital. They have this cancer. They've been all over the place. Nobody can treat it. There's no help. The cancer is just growing and spreading. Then you go to a hospital who goes above and beyond, right, to provide extremely beautiful service, that they are the only ones that stop and say, oh, wait, why don't we need to research, and find something. That's where the clinical trial comes in. That's going above and beyond, right? So we have people out here that are going above and beyond to change things. But they still have to go to someone for approval, right? That's the government. So the government is taking over everything, and they're supposed to be helping. We're supposed to be progressive and forward-thinking and moving forward. We're trying to cure cancer here. Cancer, judgment, God's making it happen. See? Removing cancers. We have to forget, like, the thing that's pissing me off about this download that I receive is, like, we're so close to so many things, yet so far away. Like, as soon as we get a little bit ahead, there's a motherfucking tyrant that sees the progress and then pulls the funding. And now we have a government shutdown and the fucking funds that were going to be able to do their job, which is cure something, actually start working. So let's just say the cancer is at 100% when this patient goes in. There's no hope. Then we find something that works and it drops like 50%. So in a situation where we have not been able to get this close to curing this type of cancer, right? So this is already a breakthrough. Now we got 50% of the cancer gone because we have a place that did and delivered extremely good care by going the extra mile and not saying, fuck this, go home, get ready to pass away, right? If it was not for that extra step taken by that person who had that eye to say, wait, let's do the extra and search and work for our patient, the patient would have been passed along like all the other ones. Now, we get to the point where the family is excited, right? Just think of the climate of the world when I'm talking about this, but I really am talking about cancer. But it can go in so many ways because I can see how this is going already. Now, we get to 50% of the problem is gone. That's half of the fucking problem. That's not 75%. That's a fucking big deal. And anyone with cancer knows this. That's a miracle. We're out here trying to cure cancer. But where is the cancer stemming from that won't let us cure it? Okay. So now we're at 50%. And then we're looking at the news and we're seeing this man pulling money from here, pulling money from here, pulling money from here, pulling money from here, closing this down, stopping this fundage, misappropriation of funds. And then the collective is like, the people who aren't dealing with people with cancer, right? They're like, what the fuck are we going to do? Everybody going through every sector and section of their life is wondering the same thing, because this money is being dispersed in places we all need to fucking access, right? So we all have the same thing. But this is something that I feel like this should be like top priority. There's some fucking funding that should not be pulled because it's counterproductive. You're talking about all these new progressive things and this and that, but everything is in technology. So where the fuck is the money going? The money's being taken from the fucking craziest places and put into the dumbest shit. It's like AI. What the fuck is that? Right? We got cancer patients out here that are being almost healed and then completely not cared about, and then the cancer grows again, and then fuck that. So I wonder, because this is how I'm seeing how, like, I don't know, this sounds very inhumane, and that's why I'm like, I don't know. So I'm going to be very, with how I go with this, but if you guys know how I think, and I think you do by now, you can see what I'm saying. Like, it is fucked up. And it's like we're talking about making things better, making it great again, right? But what the fuck is this? Okay? It seems like we're like fucking with people. We're fucking with the emotions of a fucking nation, right? What do you call that? Gaslighting, manipulation, right? So I sit here and say, no, this can't really be what's happening with things like that high down to this minuscule level, right? I keep hearing this. The micro of the thing to the macro of it, those are two separate things. And in between there's a lot that separates those two. So I'm trying to sit here and say, now the cancer's at 50%, and then Trump want to be mad at somebody, right? As usual. He always uses his emotions to control a fucking nation. So here we are. We're about to hit it. We're about to hit a mark that we haven't seen before. We're about to find a cure for cancer. Isn't that what everybody's talking about? Isn't that the miracle? I believe there has already been a cure. I believe this download is saying they're holding a lot back from the people than the people realize. I don't think it's just a misappropriation of money. I think it's a misappropriation of information. Because the only thing I keep hearing about is money, 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 and where they're taking it from. But we're still not hearing where it's going. And then when we do hear where it's going, it's to shit that don't fucking resonate with us. So it's like, what the fuck is going on? What is being sacrificed up and put against something else to say that it's better to give money to another country rather than continue to follow the progress that our country is making? Okay. What is going on that's so big that our president would stop funding something that this country has been trying to find forever to give money to Venezuela or somewhere else? What the fuck is really going on? Okay. So now we're back to 50%, which is less than where we started. So when the fuck was we ever great? If 100% of cancer is great. You see where this is going? So now we're down, and through there. 50%, it's going great though, because we like to see the decline of the cancer. And then it's just like we get one person that comes in and fucks it up. Now the cancer spreads. Now it's back all over every country and every nation. What the fuck? Now, how do you think that little person down there that this man probably ain't thinking about or even thinking this way about or even caring about, right? What do you think that person's family is thinking? How would you feel? This is who y'all voted for, though. A motherfucker that want to take away progressive movement forward, freedom. We have been trying to find, cancer's root forever. And we got it. It's so close. And as soon as we get there, there's no more money to fund the trial. So what does that mean? The patient doesn't get to continue it. So all the progress they just had and the progress of finding the cure for the cancer goes out the window. Now, what do you think you got to tell the patient? Oh, sorry. When you know it's because of a funding issue. The clinical trial is no longer being funded, which means I can't give you no more of the medicine that's actually healing you. So who's killing who out here? And why? And what's the price of a life? People don't think this way. So now you got to go as the doctor to the patient who's so excited. Oh my God, it's working. I'm feeling better. Oh my God, I'm not going to die. And then you got to be the doctor that goes in the room and you're like, sorry, man. I know this is working. And I know it doesn't make any sense. And I know that you pay into the healthcare. And I know that this and that. But given the state of the nature of affairs in the world, we can't cure your cancer that we know is curing you. And then the patient says, what the fuck? And then they get all, crazy, rightfully so. What does this mean? This is what I'm talking about. What does this mean? Imagine having to tell someone who thought they was going to die that they're not going to die because we have a cure. We get halfway through the process, and then halfway through we got to stop it and tell that same patient, no, ma'am, actually, we can't save you. We just played with you. We just tested the theory on you. Now there's no more money. We can't continue. So all that progress, where the fuck did it go? And all that time, what was it? A game to play with the fucking mind of a person? And you just saw for yourself that we know there is a cure. But right before we can make that theory stick, we see it. We see it happening. Here comes the president, shutting that shit down. Nobody thinks about this on a grand scale. So does this make you mad? This makes me pissed off. So why the fuck did I get woken up with this download? And so I was like, what is this about this fucking, what is this? And I expand upon it, and I think of the cards that I've seen in Judgment and Tower, and I'm like, oh shit, there's something big happening. Because I don't think this is just in the healthcare field that this is going on. And it's happening on many different levels just like that. Imagine if that one cancer that we find that cure for that's working could actually be the same cancer that could be the cure-all antidote for cancer. Now we have a cancer cure. Anybody with cancer can be cured of it with this one drug that we lost because of a motherfucker having a bad day. See? But y'all voted for him. See? And that's crazy. So what do you think about your president when you think of it like that? It's crazy. It's almost quite sickening. Where the fuck is all the money going? And why is it leaving the people that it's working for? Why do we have to work for it when it is given to us by right? We have the right to fucking healthcare treatment. So don't we actually have the right to make sure if we see that a problem is there and we're treating it and it's working and it's going away? Don't we have that same right to fight to keep the funding there and actually make it stay? Because now we're not saving lives out here. We're taking lives. If you're not helping, you're hurting. So why do we not see that that's what's happening on a grander scale? Who's the cancer? Who's stopping progressive? Who's stopping movement forward? How high up does this go? And is this how they think? This is why I just sit back and I be channeling and I don't put my 2 cents in. But I'm going to leave y'all with this one. This is the man you voted into office. We know that. That's not the fucking problem. But you Republicans wanted to make America great again with this, Mr. President. The democracy is for the people. I don't know what the fuck the Republicans about. So you don't have to tell me what the government is not doing. I'm not a Republican. So I know. I saw what the government was doing with Obama. And people will say, all he did was make shit worse, and he fucked this up and he fucked that up. But do you think if that president knew, okay, that they found a cure for cancer, he would pull it. I don't care what you think about that man and what he did. His morals, his values, and his ethics would not allow him to pull funding where it's needed and working. Something else can go. So why are we removing funding from things that are actually helping and funding bullshit that's hurting? Like AI. Just another form of trying to copy what's fucking not real and expand upon it. But what is real is that we have a cure for cancer. And our president knows. So who gets access to this cure-all medication for cancer? Because he knows about it. That's why he pulled the funding for the trial when he saw that it was working. But he had to see at least a 50% decline of the cancer to prove the theory that it works. Because one can assume, now we're talking about a businessman here, that's why there's a lot of assumptions. One can assume that if it did 50% in this amount of time, that it will take this amount of time for another 50%. So what if this man is all about clocks and time too? And what if this man knows certain things that y'all don't know? Y'all be thinking that these names that we call these witch bitches and witch men only apply to everyday people. It's all the same thing. You see a problem, and rather than let it play out and go the way it's supposed to, you want to intercess and make it go backwards and act like it was never found, never saw. Right? So what are we doing? We need to get this man out of that office. Because what else is he holding back from the people? Because we, the people, is not the people that I choose. So now you got somebody that knows that there's a cure for something. Everybody out here in the world wants it. But the rich get richer and the poor get poorer. So who you think's getting these cures for these cancers? You think people like me are getting them? No. But you think people like him are getting them? Probably. And that's not how you run a country. So I'm going to leave y'all with that. When you talk about your Mr. President and how great he is, and I'm trying to figure out who has all the money to fund all the gang stalking and the trolling. And he's falling under that category too. So I don't know what's going on with that president. Why would you want to do that? Look at our president. I don't fucking know why he would want to do that. Why the fuck does he want to be orange? I don't fucking know. Fuck. You're asking me the dumbest questions right now. I'm not trying to figure that man out. I don't think you should do that. I might go into a very dark space trying to really figure that man out. Because just what I just said is fucking blasphemous. And that's why God's making certain shit shake. Because you can't be for the people. This is God I'm talking about. I'm not a politician. I don't give a fuck about all that lingo. I'm talking about the macro. The one that created the spot for him to sit in. Now, if this was a humble man and a humble servant of God that was sitting before the people, you see how I'm looking at it? Yeah, see now. No, there's certain morals, ethics, and values you gotta have for that seat. And to sit here and say, I see that I have the power to keep a nation stuck in fear rather than free them with the truth. We out here searching for something that's already found. And these government shutdowns and all these lockdowns and everything's locked down. Didn't I say the other day? Every time there's a government shutdown, something's going on behind the scenes. So what, did they find this then? Because you got to report to the government that the clinical trials is working. So why the fuck would they take it away if they see it's working? Who is the only one that can give that green light? So there's many people up under him that's probably like, wait, no, don't. What if this gets out? What if that gets out as they're releasing the Epstein files? This man is about to be impeached. He about to get up out of there. And this is a prophecy. So, I don't know. God is not playing. How did I go from yesterday, cancer, judgment, God's making it happen, to going to bed and having a dream about clinical trials and cancer? See? So I don't know what's going on out there in the world, but this is why I be like, fuck all that shit. What's right is right and wrong is wrong, and that's how I stand on morals and values. You can try to argue with me the little stupid shit in between. That means you don't care about life either. But these are the same people that vote you into office. Now imagine that. You voted that man into office, and then you got cancer, and that same man that you was worshiping and idolizing is the same one that's not letting you live. That's crazy. I'm going to vote for a president that I know is going to do whatever for his people, because we are the people, not I am the people, and I run them, and I say who lives or dies. You see how crazy that is? And I think there's a lot of people out here that I'm picking up on in this energy that's seeing shit like this in the same way, because there's no reason for it. This is what I'm saying. Where is the money going? Like, what the fuck? That was so real and blunt and to the point, I almost wanted to cry, because it's so clear to see what the fuck we're dealing with. And everybody's out here acting like they don't see the same thing and afraid to speak up because what? You voted for him? Because what? He's a fucking president? Okay, and? Aren't you a person? Doesn't your life matter? Like, what the fuck are you I'm just so sick of people, man. Like, even as I'm saying this, be careful, don't talk about the president. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Y'all talked about Obama like that man wasn't shit. Like he wasn't smarter than the man that wants to be orange. Like, come on. Y'all only hated that man because he was black. Y'all only hated on that man because he was black. I have seen way worse presidents do way worse and be fucking treated like royalty. That motherfucker did not dishonor the office. He didn't do nothing like these previous presidents have been found in their office doing and getting a pass for. You think if Obama had the track record right before being fucking voted in to fucking office, the same people would vote for him? Just turn the cheek? This is what I'm saying. Like, who was running what? Who was running who? Because it didn't even make sense. I'm like, he got all this shit going on. His name is being run through the fucking entertainment industry. He's all over the place. They're stealing his money. They're snatching up this, finding out this, smacking biddies and pussies, right? Like, just threatening people that he's fucking done harm to. And he still gets fucking into the office? And you think this is a safe man? Say, that's what I'm talking about. That sounds like some warlock mind control shit to me. And you want to talk about Obama and how he made a bill that covered all in healthcare insurance. And this man trying to take that away. But it cured cancer. Or it was curing cancer. He said, oh no, we don't need that. But you didn't know that. You just thought that there's no reason for my tax dollars to be funding a program for, you know, the poor. Yeah, see? It's crazy. So, I don't know. This shit don't make no sense to me. And that's why I say, why vote if your voice doesn't matter? I mean, if you have a voice, a lot of people don't have a voice. They just fucking vote because that's what you're supposed to do. And they don't realize how that's a fucking ritual too. If you don't care either way, why would you vote? That doesn't make sense to me. Because they say you should because you live here? Okay, well, I say that we live here and we have certain rights, and if all those rights can't be respected by the ones that are fucking standing before me, I'm not signing no fucking bond, no deal, no contract that ties me to say that I stand for that. Because that would be a lie. So people be out here lying. See what I'm saying? At least I can stand on the fact that no, Obama wasn't perfect, but did he have perfect people to run with? He had everyone who wasn't his color against him. So, I mean, that's what he had. He had the fucking country on his back. Literally. All that slavery shit. What the fuck do you think that man was thinking about every time he was sitting in that fucking office? My people built this building. And these people don't even want me to sit here. What the fuck mental toll do you think that guy had to go through while sitting there and being told all this bullshit by some stupid ass motherfuckers that were the opposite color skin as him, that knew half, if even half of what he knew? The disrespect, the looking over, that just because you look this way, just because you got more money than the next, you the right pick for the job. That's what this country looks like it's based on. Not what's really we the people, but who's for the people. This isn't like a fucking Wow. This shit is crazy. Everybody is so dead asleep wondering why we are where we are. It's the people's fault, but the people can't fucking choose none, especially not with this president. We don't even have a voice to try to choose none. What the fuck is he gonna do? Oh, you want to question it? We're just gonna shut it down then. Okay, well, thanks for listening. Like Massachusetts over here. They're going through all types of shit because we have governors and we have, mayors that are standing up to this man. So now, we, the people of the state that are being represented by the representatives of it who are doing their jobs and going above and beyond for us, the people who live here, now we, the people, have to feel the wrath that Trump has beef with the governor and the mayor. So we are suffering. He's not suffering. So it goes from the big to the little. Do you guys see Trump having beef with your state and it actually affecting the state you live in to even talk to me or even argue with me? I'm talking about country, and then I take it back to the micro and I talk about the state that I live in, where I can see that funding for things where it needs to be is not there. I can see motherfucking homeless motherfuckers on the street, needles everywhere, nothing but fucking buildings that are abandoned. Who knows who or what is in them? Let's just say that, because around here, you don't fucking know. And they ain't going and doing nothing around, like checking things out. So when you look at the thing from the small to the little, we going back in time. Good for you in your fucking lucky ass weird state. There ain't no state that works perfect, so you a troll. I got a mad Trump supporter because I'm right and he's sad that he voted. I didn't vote, so I don't care either way. But all I'm saying is I would not vote for him and I would not vote for the other. So I did not vote. So I'm free to say whatever the fuck I want. See? I'm not going to sit here and complain after I put him in the place to fuck us all over. So when we talk about the industry, and then we talk about Epstein, and then we talk about all that, all of these things, people are taking losses, everyday people that are working. Taxes is going higher on the fucking checks that they're taking home. And then you go to fucking do your taxes and you're getting taxed on your taxes. It's like, what the fuck is going on out here? Home of the free and land of the brave. What the fuck does that mean? I'm just trying to figure it out because it seems like we got the wrong person in position of power. And it seems like if I can see this living in this country, so too can many other people. And we're the strongest nation in the world, they say. I mean, yeah, we was, but we are only as strong as our leader. And if our leader is not strong, and he blows this away and that away, determining factor whether or not somebody makes him upset. So he's willing to not control his anger all the time and show it, and put us in compromising situations, and take away fucking cures for cancer, and take all this money and give it to Venezuela. What the fuck is this man into? What is the price of a life? I just don't understand what is more important than the lives here. And then you got ICE. What the fuck is that all about? That's the dumbest shit ever. I was picking up on my readings about lawlessness. And now I'm getting disgusted because I'm picking up on the energy that I was picking up on earlier in the message. Excuse me, whoa, where's all the money going? And I picked up on the energy of the money in the bed, in the trains, in the men and the women. And then I'm thinking about the Epstein files. I'm telling you right now, there's a reason why all of this war is happening. And when we the people see that our president is into some dirty dealings, I think then we can make some moves forward. He's done a lot of damage. And the fact that people are so afraid to see it, and the fact that he has so much power to pay people to be unfair, to look the other way, turn the other cheek, this is the president. So, and I know there's other people that know exactly the true facts. She's right. How the fuck does she know? I don't fucking know. I just be getting pieces to piece together. And that visual that I got earlier about the trains and the money on the bed and all the men and the women in the rooms doing all the nasty things. And I think about Epstein Why the fuck am I getting these two visuals in the same day? And then I see the president, no, don't release it. Wait, doing all these things. We're going to hear and see some detestable nastiness. And then, I guess that's how we got to go. But he's getting up out of there. He's getting up out of there. And all of these things that have been held back, watch this prophecy come to pass. Because I remember 2 years ago or so, I did a download for the January message for that year that said that we found a cure for cancer. I don't know if y'all remember that. It was like 2 years ago. I specifically started that New Year message with finding a cure for cancer. 2 years later, it keeps ringing in my head. There's a cure for cancer. Because I know what the fuck I say is true. And then that year, I remember there being a cure for a certain type of cancer. But I said a cure for all types of cancer. So there is definitely progress here in the cancer spaces. And so I feel like once this man is moved up out the way, because you remember I'm talking about pushing buttons and pushing envelopes and all these other things, when that final button is pushed and this country gets the reset that it needs and the shift occurs that we've been talking about to go along with the energy and frequency that we hold, this is the problem. This is the problem. We are coming up against light, high vibrational people, which exudes high vibrational frequencies, which is what allows me to tap into what I'm tapped into right now. A low-ass, dark-ass bitch ain't thinking this high, can't see this far out. So it's kind of like when I talk about it and I talk about him, I have to go down there to talk about him. So I can already see the clash. I can see the clash in energy. I can see the pull, the tug of war. And I can see why there are two sides. So my thing is, what side is your president on? Is he on the high vibrational frequency of chosenness that he talks about? Because this man has also called the chosen thing like some type of fad. He has directly disrespected people just like me and many spiritual beings that see the truth and called what we are and what we do some type of changing of the times fad. Like it's just like some hippie movement or some shit. And he speaks on it like that, like I said, to create a diversion from the truth that we see you too. And you can't stop us from seeing you. Can you stop us from exposing you? If we have freedom of speech and freedom to assembly and freedom to gather and all these, his hands are tied. And if you're not smart enough, you're not going to see why everything in this reality right now is presenting as a power struggle. The powers that be versus the powers that are becoming. So I'm a power that's becoming, and he is a power that is. Look at his power, and look how I would hold it and yield it if I had the position. Not saying I want it. I don't want that. There'd be two different outcomes. What do you see? If you could place that energy where it fit, you would see the cure for cancer. You would see the homeless having shelter. You would see these broke down, busted, disgusted, eyesore buildings used as. But no, we got a president that ain't looking at the inner cities. He don't care about the little things. He just care about making sure he stay up top and control the upper. And make sure that he keeps the foot on the neck of the lower. Who is the lower and why must the foot be on the neck? Because I know I'm not up there with him, but I also know he's not up here with me. So I'm confused, you see? So this is something that this man has created and y'all can figure it out. I know what it is. I know exactly what it is. Y'all want to talk about people and spiritual warfare isn't real. This is spiritual warfare that this man has caused in this world. This awakening came because of him. This age of Aquarius, the future thinkers, the movers, the inventors. What is the age of Aquarius? At the time when the man is blocking all the funding for those to use the time for what it is. Everybody's screaming age of Aquarius and they're not understanding it's not even able to happen because of who is leading the country. This man don't want to be seen. You think he wanted to be seen, or you don't think so? He don't want the Epstein files out. But then again, this man said he ain't in them. So why the fuck is he fighting so hard? That right there is like impeachment. Why the fuck do we got to go through all this? You just clearly lied. Like, why is he getting so many opportunities to gaslight a nation of people? What are we into, some type of fucking MK Ultra or something? See what I'm saying? But nobody thinks this way. I'm crazy. Or who's crazy here, right? Sit with that one. When you go out here and talk about what you think you know, think about the life of somebody else. When you want to have your opinions on what is right and fair when it comes to these monies, think about your fucking loved one being in a position, right, to just be saved. And your great old Mr. President just took their life away. Sit with that one. When next time you vote for your president, make sure you think about stuff like that. And I can't wait for these Epstein files to come out so that we can have that time to do what the fuck we came to do. Y'all just don't understand how powerful this high-level witchery bullshit is. Y'all don't believe in warlocks. Well, you think a warlock is a fucking gangster thug dude? That's what people think of when they see a warlock. They're not thinking of the people right in front of the fucking faces that's lying to them. Who the fuck is Orange? Right there, that seems like some weird shit to me spiritually. Because all I see with that is sacral energy. Sacral. What's the sacral chakra? What is it there for? Creativity. Intuition. Isn't this what the Aquarian age is for us to use? Our creativity and follow our passionate pursuits? This man his face is orange all the time, but we ain't able to create nothing. So right in front of y'all's faces, you're seeing the contradiction, and y'all still don't say that this country is being run by something other than what people think it is. Control is not how people think it is. People aren't really awake like that for real. And that's why he has allowed the people, right, that listen to him and worship him as God, right, to save them, why he has done them a complete disservice. And everybody looks like fools. Because you got to fool the fool that thinks they're fooling you. And that's what this fucking president has done to all y'all. Yeah. Say, make America great again. That was the biggest slap in the face. And any black, I'm not going to say that. I'm going to go. When I first saw that, I was like, when was it ever? But let somebody else tell it. There was a better time than there is now. When people like me had far fewer choices to be made. They were made for us. And so now there's that too. But hey, it's not about color, is it? Clearly. Because he can't say he's one or the other. What color what color will we call him? He looks this way. We know that he is, but he appears right in front of us to be a different color. Why all that extra shit? People don't think that deeply. And if you're looking at the surface level, why would you even vote for that anyways? What the fuck? This don't even look normal. What the fuck are we? Okay. I don't know what people be looking at. Maybe my screen is different than yours. But shit, everybody want to call me crazy, and the shit is blatant in your face. Talking about love spells and gaslighting and true warlock energy. These motherfuckers don't run shit. They run fucking rituals on the people that give them their energy. Supply, support, praise. And these motherfuckers is doing it. And look at him. He got to the point where he can just do whatever the fuck he wants. No one person should have all that power. Because look what he's sacrificing out here. Cures. People are dying. Losing funding. So that's fucking up everything else. People are here starving for food. He don't care about that. And then they'll talk about the fucking welfare people. Well, what the fuck? Can we get a chance to get up before a motherfucker snatch something from under us again? Like, everything is put on us. We the people. But we don't run shit. Did your vote change anything that this man has done? I'm just wondering. For those who say, yeah, you vote and it matters. No, a vote is a count. And if you don't count for nothing, you don't matter. It's given in life. If you ain't got no money, you ain't shit. You ain't got no money, you can't have no complaint. That's what it looks like. Money talks. That's what this shit is? If that's the case, that's why I'm talking like this. It's bullshit. That's not how you run a fucking country. This is how the republic feels. We need a Democrat in the president every fucking term. Because y'all be complaining about Democrats, but no Democrat would ever do this dumb, stupid shit. This selfish, detestable, can't even damn near fathomable. It's just innately on a human nature level wrong. And why must we continue to see such terrible shit and have to go through some terrible, hard, and long, arduous process to get a motherfucker gone? But everybody else be gone for less. I'm soaking. What makes him be able to sit there? See? How much power does he have and who does he have it over? Because I'm always trying to figure out who the fuck is over the president. This man can't be the end all be all. That would be absolutely catastrophic. Oh my God. It already is, and it already appears to be. I hope y'all don't think the president is the end of the line. Everybody got to have somebody to answer to. And I'll leave you with that. Good night.